Louisiana Hayride country music uh, concert, and it is a really big deal. And I will leave it to him to explain about it when he comes back. But it is a wonderful excuse not to be here. It's an incredible opportunity for him, and I'm very happy for him. Okay, so the first thing I want to thank everybody that's attending here today, because as Milo often says, without you, we would not have a meeting. We wouldn't have a discussion on great topics. So thank you so much for being here. And then I have to say, I am joined today by the inimitable Lynn Nakamoto. She is extraordinary. She has gone above and beyond for all of us. I don't know how she does it. I really hope she takes time to rest and not burn herself out, because it is unbelievable the amount of value and support she gives to all the webinars in this company. So thank you, Lynn, for helping me through this. And also we're joined by co-host John Barilla, who is our beloved and highly valued chat defender. He watches the chats. He stepped up to that. He watches for, unsavory characters or comments. He watches for positive comments and accurate comments. And that is such a huge service to the company as well. So thank you, John, for being here. And I think if you or Lynn would like to say a few words before we get started.
Well, yeah, I'm just so glad to be here. I'm very excited because Jean is hosting today. It's really special. The first time of doing anything is ultra special. And as you can see, she has the warmth and the enthusiasm that's perfect for the role of host. I'm grateful to have her here today to participate as the host. And I'm also happy to have the special guest, but I'm going to let her introduce the guest. John, chime in, John.
Yes. Hi. Yes, and I know what it feels like. Last week I was in your spot, so I'm sure you're going to do great. And welcome everybody. And I'm going to go back to my usual duties and pay attention to the chat now. And I'm also bringing people in, and the participants are coming in. So good luck and have fun, everybody.
Thank you so much, John and Lynn. And John, you were fantastic last week. Absolutely energized and super cool. So without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce our special guest speaker today. She's a friend of mine. She is one of our Michigan Angels. She was one of the people who went up to meet in person with our CEO, Ash Mufareh, Peter Sarer, a bunch of the incredible leaders in that area to talk about homelessness and a lot of the poverty and struggles in that particular area that will serve as a blueprint for the rest of the world. We're hoping. So Joyce is one of those people. Her expertise in social work and related areas speaks to this topic so well, and she's going to have such insights for us today. The topic being homelessness and its effect on children, which is a powerful topic, an emotional one, and a very important one. So without further ado, I'm going to say it again. I am pleased to present Joyce Hicks. Please unmute your mic and join us here.
Hi, Jean. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Hi, Lynn and John and everyone on the panel. I'm just so excited and happy to be here. Jean, I love the way that you're doing such an awesome job. So thank you so much. You're a pro at it. You're excellent. What a great choice that Milo made. So you're doing excellent. And thank you, Lynn. You're always there for everyone. Thank you for your support. John, thank you for being behind the scenes, and Marty and everyone else. Marty's just always, he already knows who his number one fans are. So love that. But Jean, you're doing an awesome job. You're just such a good, wonderful person. You're my friend, and I'm just gotten to know Jean over the past few years in ONPASSIVE. And okay, I'm not going to be emotional because I said I'm not going to do this. But, I just love ONPASSIVE and all of you guys. I've met so many friends and wonderful people that I would have never met if it wasn't for ONPASSIVE. So I am just excited to be here. And I just want to thank Milo for inviting me to be on and to speak today. It's just such an honor. And I just love this topic. So just thank you, Ash Mafara, first of all, too, for all that you do, for your sacrifices for all of us, you and your family and the Hyderabad team, the sacrifices that you make on a daily basis. And just excited about where we are, where we're going. It's just so much value in this company. I'm just loving where we are and where we're going. The topic today, again, my name is Joyce Hicks and I'm from Michigan, and I am one of the Michigan Angels, and I'm really excited about that. It's just true to my heart. Women and children and pregnant women, and just what we can do for people. So when Milo asked me to speak and he said, you can talk about homelessness or whatever you like to speak on, I'm like, oh boy, there's a lot. So I'm just trying to break it down and get to one topic. It was difficult, but I said, you know what, this is what's dear to my heart is women and children, and ONPASSIVE and the things that we're going to be able to do for everyone. I just thank you, Chris Johnson, for inviting me to be an angel. That was just an awesome thing. And just going up to meet Ash and Peter and so many other wonderful people. It was just awesome. And Sherry, these are moments that I'll cherish for life that I will never forget. It'll be dear. It's always dear to my heart, and it's something that once you meet Ash, you'll never be the same. So it's just, I can't even explain the feeling. He just makes you feel so welcome, just like you've known him forever. And he is just so down to earth, just the best person. We couldn't have asked for a better CEO. So I'm just blessed and thankful that God chose him for this mission. Again, so I'm just going to get going because I'll just keep talking. Here we are. I'm going to go. So when we talk about homelessness and for children and mental health, in Jackson, my area, we had like 3 centers to close for women and children, and that was pretty devastating for us. So what we talk about, like when we think of homelessness and children, especially with children, it's like, wow, it looks different because children are affected in ways that we sometimes don't even think about. They're affected in ways or impacted in ways that adults are not impacted. And this is going to look different in every community. And so in every country. So as we recognize these things, and I know it's been talked about so much all the time, and on Obless, and Chris talks about it all the time. There's so many people that come on and talk about the things that they're going to do. And once Obless comes along, we'll be able to bless so many lives. So, but we know that there's a call upon our lives that's different than others. And the call is like, it's no longer about us, but it's about people and what we can do for people and what we can do to help people. So we're excited about that. It's like, that is one of the things that's in our heart, is to help people. As we talk about homelessness and mental health, we're talking about building relationships. And we're not just talking about opening up a building and saying, hey, come on in, and we're going to do this and that. But this is only the beginning of it, as we all know, that we need to educate and to train and to provide treatment. These are some of the keys for treating homelessness and the situation. So we remember that each person is an individual, and each person is different. Each situation is different. So it's going to be more than just opening the building. It's going to be getting out there in the trenches and meeting the people where they are. Some people will welcome our help and some won't. Some will be happy to get the help, and then some people, their mindset is just not there. So some people will be visible. I mean, we see them everywhere. And then some people will be hidden. There's people, whether they're on the streets, they're in the woods, or they're off the grid. Some people just don't want to be found. But we're here to help in any way that we can. And one thing I want you to remember is that you do not have to be a social worker to help anyone. That is not a requirement. It's just you just have to have a heart for humanity, and we all have that. So that's why we're here, is just, to help people. I know it started off for some of us differently, but as time changed and value came and we understood what was going on, and we connected with Ash's heart, we began to think differently. So you don't have to be a social worker to do any of this, just have a heart for humanity, and that's what we're doing. So we'll be reaching out and we'll be educating people. We'll be assessing the situations, assessing barriers, and we'll be looking at those barriers and trying to relieve those barriers that each person has. And as we engage with people, like I said, some may respond the first time, some may not. It's just going to be a thing where we'll be out there, we'll be hitting up people and individuals of where they are. Some things may be more complex than others. So we'll just have to dig in and then ask them what they need. We'll just be asking them, what are their dreams, talking to them just as individuals. They want to be heard and they want to be seen and they want to know that we care, because sometimes like it's how much, how much and how much this and who do I know? So it's not that, it's not about how much it's about how much you care. And that's what people want to see, that you care. So we'll be digging into people's lives and asking them about their hopes and dreams and what they would like to see happen with their lives. And so I'm just touching on a few issues here, and there are so many more and so many other people that will identify with different things as we go along. But a few things that I typically see in our area is there's a few patterns that comes up. It's about mental health. It's about behavioral health issues. They'll have lack of income, substance use and substance abuse, and then also mindset. And one thing we have to remember is that mindset is so important because it's something to consider, because a person's perspective and how they see things is their reality. And it may be different from ours. We may say this is the norm, but then you always ask, like, what is normal? What is the norm? So for a person with a mental health issue, their reality is going to be totally different from ours. Their mindset, it may be a generational thing, whether such as like they were on the streets and, they'll think about, this is how my grandpa survived. This is how my grandma survived. My mom and dad survived. So that's what I need to do to survive. And that's survival for them. But for us, we'll see it differently. So mindset is so important about when we're working with people in these areas. And our thing here is that we want to help people move forward. We want to empower them. We want to help them to become productive and sufficient. We just want to help them to become productive citizens and where they're able to take care of themselves. And it's that old saying, it says you can give a person a fish and they'll eat for a day, but if you teach them, they'll eat for a lifetime. And that's what we want to do, is we want to make sure that people are sufficient for life. And when we think about that, also that calls for relationships. We're building relationships with people. We're out there. It's difficult, out there. It's difficult. There's some people on here that have experienced homelessness and they've experienced displacement. So we have our work cut out for us. It's not saying it's going to be the easiest thing ever, but we're up for the job. We're up for the task. And that's what I love about ONPASSIVE. It's like, you put it in front of us and we're going to go out and we're going to do it. As Ash says, do it or die. And that's what we're going to do. We may not alleviate homelessness, but we will be able to help so many people and put so many things in place. So I'm really excited about that. And as we begin to engage and build relationships and build trust with people, we'll begin to teach them and helping them to understand. So we'll be hitting on so many areas in their life, and we'll be hitting on, things that we take for granted sometimes. Is like hygiene. We get up in the morning, we shower, we, brush our teeth, and we get dressed and do all those things. But some people, they've been on the streets or displaced for so long that this is no longer an issue for them, so their mindset has changed and it's not even on their radar. So whether, they have access to, facilities to brush their teeth, wash their face, take bath to bathe or whatever it is, they may not have that same access that we have. So their concept is totally different from ours. And so that's why we'll have to start to think differently and think about, put ourselves in someone else's place. It's like, we have to be compassionate and we have to be, think about all these things that are going on for others that we take for granted. And so mental health is like, we'll offer those mental health treatment. And as far as, counseling and shelter, and some people may not even think that it's even important, mental health, that, that's not what I'm thinking about, because they're trying to meet their basic needs. They're worried about food and shelter, where they're going to sleep, and those things that we don't think about. But if the mental health, we can get mental health managed or controlled in some type of way, we'll be able to help people in very different areas of life. So And sometimes they may not even realize that it's beneficial for them in the short term and long term. But there are multiple reasons that people end up on the streets. There could be so many things that factor into it. And like I said, each situation is different, and each situation is person is different. So that also brings me to a point here was like, with homelessness, families are in there. When I talked about women and children and the shelters and the facilities closing in our areas, like when families end up on the streets or displaced, it affects and it hits very differently because kids are involved. And kids are impacted in ways that adults may not be impacted because it affects them socially and behaviorally. So their mindset, and it affects them in ways that we don't even think about, because they often experience like social isolation is one of the things from their peers, and they may not have access to hygiene, personal hygiene. They sometimes they'll come for school. They'll come to school. Their hair's not washed. Their teeth aren't brushed. They're not clean. They may wear the same clothes over and over for days, and then and with younger kids, they'll withdraw sometimes, and they'll get quiet. And sometimes I've experienced one child came to school, but that's when I worked for a school, and they came to school and they began to withdraw. They became mute and talk anymore. But it's because of the social isolation and feeling alone and not having, a home or things such as that. And adolescents, they also, with elementary kids, they'll withdraw sometimes. With adolescents, they may also feel their thought is different, so they can notice things. They may start to be embarrassed, and then they feel like their self-esteem is affected. And they realize that they're different from their friends and they don't have the same thing. So it can lead to so many things, and they're insecure. They lose their sense of self, and some of them have separation, like the younger kids have separation anxiety. So there are so many things that go on. They don't trust people as much as they used to. I mean, their environment changes so much, and there's so much uncertainty that they don't know what's going to happen from day to day. Also, children become vulnerable to their situations. They become, open to abuse and domestic abuse, sexual abuse from family, from friends, from people that they're living with, people on the street. So they become exposed to so many things that we would never think about. So those are a lot of things that we considered. I know people have already, talked about these things as well, but it can also set them up for having mental health issues later on in life. So when we think about that, it's like, we have a lot to deal with, and we just think about, some of the things that we never think about. They don't have sometimes that developmental affect them developmentally, and there's so many other issues that kids can be affected with, and they, sleep issues, things that we never think about. They don't get enough sleep, and they end up falling asleep in class and being really anxious and tired or distracted. And sometimes we're wondering why these kids aren't behaving or performing. It's not because of they're not intelligent or not smart enough. It's because of their situation environment. So we have to think about all those things when we think about children. And sometimes, if someone is displaced and they're homeless, or they're staying with a friend or a family, normally we just go to bed and go to sleep. They don't have a place to sleep. So, and if they're distracted they can't sleep because there's family members there, they're not considered, they're watching TV late at night, and they're having parties or doing other things. And the children are affected by that. So they don't get that rest that's needed. And then that can affect them academically and their cognitive behavior. They can't think, there's fogginess. There's so many things that go along with that. So, they have nightmares and so many things that can impact them. So that is another part of it. Even with their development later on in adulthood, that may affect that as well. And a lot of children struggle with anxiety. Anxiety is like, it plays a big role in their, because they're uncomfortable. There's nothing consistent for them. So they become more anxious. And sometimes we think with children in school, you may find them becoming more anxious at the end of the day, because they're thinking about where, am I going to have a place to go? Am I going to have a place to sleep? What am I going to eat? You know, their minds are starting to race and to run, and they're thinking about all these things that other children aren't thinking about. And it puts them under this pressure, and they get anxious. And some of the children with that too, children may start to have behavioral issues where they may start to act. I'm going to tell a story. It's like, and I'm just going to say, this person's name was Kid, and he was homeless, and he was having lots of behavioral issues, and he was getting in trouble every day at school. He was fighting a lot. He was bullying. He was being bullied, and also he became defiant and argumentative, and was acting out in all kinds of ways. And then, you know what Kid was doing? He was trying to draw the attention away from him in his situation of homelessness. He was creating a distraction so that no one would tease him or taunt him anymore or focus on him. He wanted to take the attention away from his situation. And so he began to act out. A lot of times children, even younger children, elementary and, you know, the younger, they don't have words to express their feelings. Sometimes we as adults, we don't have words to express our feelings either. We may feel some type of ways like, I don't even know what I'm feeling. I don't have the words. So you think if we don't have words, what about children? They don't have the words to express if they're mad, they're angry, they're frustrated. So what do? They act out. And so we have to consider a lot of these things, whether they're in school and, you know, so with Kid's story, he was creating a distraction to take it off of him in this situation. That was his way of coping. And so with that mental health that affects that, but we are here to help, and we can give them other ways of coping, showing him different ways. And when I'm passive and our bless comes along, we'll be able to give families and people homes and jobs and so many things that they don't have right now. So I'm just really excited about that. I'm going to be done here shortly, but I want to talk about Angela's story as well. So, I call her Angel. Her story is like, she ended up homeless. This is an adult, ended up homeless after a mental health episode. She was hospitalized for mental health. And when she lost her apartment because of that, she lost her children. They were displaced because of that. And after she was released from the hospital, she didn't have anywhere to go. So she was in the shelter for a while, but then that, expired, and then ends up on the streets. And so then that creates a whole nother issue for her children and for her too. So, and they ended up in a crisis and they were homeless. So, where are these displaced people going to go? And that's where ONPASSIVE comes in. Or we have the Jills and the Bobs and the Sues and, people that are awesome leaders in the community, and they have excellent jobs. They're architects, attorneys, nurses, doctors, whatever they may be, but sometimes they may start using drugs, and that drug becomes an addiction. And then they find it becomes a habit. Now they find themselves, losing their job, losing their home, and they can't make the mortgage. So then they become homeless. So you have those people as well. And then you have, the Sallys and the Sues and Monas and Joyces and whomever else with broken relationships, then there's the abuse, and there's abusive relationships, whether they're incarcerated or and the list goes on and on. So the list can continue and continue. There's so many things out there that we have to address. And we just keep engaging, we just keep digging in, and we just keep trying, and we keep reaching. And, like I said, there are so many reasons that people end up displaced, but, and we won't be able to change everyone or fix everyone. But as Ash says, if we could just touch that one person's life, it's going to make truly a difference. So we'll be able to do that. I just wanted to share that with you. That was on my heart. I just love women and children, people in general, but women and children are special to my heart. And there are so many ways to address homelessness. There's so many founders out here that have so many wonderful ideas and things that are already in place, and things that they're working on, things that they have in place, and waiting for ONPASSIVE and waiting for Blessed to launch out so we can begin to help so many people. There are ideas out there. There are so many things that people have. They just didn't have the means to do it. And now ONPASSIVE, here comes ONPASSIVE, and we come along, and now we have the means of finances to do all these things, to bless people, we have a solution we are the correction to the corruption, and I love that. We'll be able to address all these things to help. I've heard, is it Leon? He talks about the buildings, communities for homeless. So there's so many projects out there all around the globe that we'll be able to bless people. Like I said, each community, each country is going to look different. You just look into that part and see what the need is. You don't have to be a social worker to do so. And things are in place, and we're just ready for Obless to come out, and it's coming soon. So if we could just if we be the change that we want to see, we're going to make that huge difference in the world. And we are 1.5 million strong. And if each one would reach one and teach one, what a ripple effect we'll have. Thank you again, Milo, for asking me. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen to me as I went on. Love you guys. And I just really appreciate you so much. And I'll turn it back over to you, Jean. Thank you.
Joyce, that was incredible. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your insights, sharing that. It's just amazing. And while you were talking, it brought up two things in my mind. One is that homelessness, houselessness, poverty struggle affects all walks of life, all ages. I literally, before I came on this call, I got a text from a friend who has a loved one who is just about to be homeless. And she's like, what do I do? What do I do? That is someone in the suburbs of Philadelphia. It can happen anywhere. And I also have a friend that I made that some of you may be familiar with. His name is Mark. He's actually on the call tonight, and he is experiencing homelessness. So it is affecting so many people around the world, and we're going to be resolving that. We are 1.5 million strong. We are going to be working towards that. And the second thing that, Joyce, you jarred my memory or my thought, was that it's not just Obless. Obless is like, as Bob DeCoucy said last night in Friday Night Live, that is the flagship of ONPASSIVE. It's the beating heart of ONPASSIVE. But every single product and service in ONPASSIVE is going to be lifting humanity. If someone uses O-Trim and it saves them money, it saves them time, that's going to free that person up to give a little bit more to their community, to have more time to devote to their community. And just imagine, as Joyce said, the ripple effect of that across the world. Every single product and service that ONPASSIVE has is going to be lifting humanity, not just Obless. So very, very exciting times. Okay, so at this point, if folks want to ask Joyce a question or make a comment on the topic at hand, which is homelessness and its effect on children in particular, if you have something you want to say on that topic, not technical or Q&A, please raise your hand, and we'll start taking some questions from people. And while you are all doing that, if there are any leaders on the call tonight, global leaders that want to make a few comments, that would be fantastic. I'm thinking of Marty DeGarmo, who I forgot to thank specifically when I started, and I didn't go unnoticed. Thank you for opening the meeting and opening the live stream. I wouldn't have known the first thing about how to do that. So thank you, Marty. And if you could say a few words, I'd be grateful.
I think he may not be here at the moment.
Are you not even here? Well, that's embarrassing for me.
It's okay.
Let me look at who is Listra. Listra, I see you here. You've got your hand raised. And let me see. Lynn, did you want to say something in response to what Joyce has said?
Well, let's give Listra the floor, because she's got her hand up right now. So I know she's got something on her mind.
Awesome.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Joyce, that was amazing. That was amazing. That topic is so near and dear to my heart. The children, they are the ones that have always helped. I just want to do more for them. When I think of them being out there on the streets, I cannot imagine what it feels like for an adult, much less a child. half the time I'm speechless. I know what I want to do, but talking about it, I get so emotional. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry, but it makes me so emotional because you know what? I know how my kids grew up. I know how my grandkids are growing up. I cannot imagine any one of them being out there on the streets. I cannot. So when I think about other children being out there, oh, I don't know. I don't know. But I know that through Oh Bless and because of Ash and everything that he's put into place and all the work that Chris is doing along with you and everyone else, I know that things are going to get better. And that's my dream. And that's what I look forward to. Thank you, guys.
Lister, that was wonderful. And I agree. It's such an emotional topic. It's almost like you really can't go there in your head. It's like, I really cannot. I know Joyce knows this feeling. It's like, it's so just imagining, and it doesn't even have to be a family member, but it's like, it's just hard. Again, I don't have the words for it. It's really, sometimes I just have to not go there in my mind because it's so overwhelming. But thank you so much, Listra, for sharing your thoughts there. And now we have Bruce.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Jeannie. And thank you so much for taking the lead today. You're incredible. I want to thank, first of all, Joyce for all her powerful words. I wrote to you, I said, your heart and your words are huge, and they are. But I started thinking what Ash talks about when he talks about mindset. And I'm thinking that the word mental health is itself saying something that implies somebody is not well. And if you go by that, that becomes a stigma for people and it becomes a cycle downward. So I was thinking that maybe there's a place where we can change the words we use when it comes to people who have mental challenges, because mental challenges are just thinking. And usually it's, we don't think, they don't think important, they're not acknowledged, they feel alone, they feel depressed because nobody hears them. And so how do we, when it comes to homeless children and the challenges that they have, they were never brought up in a place where they could grow. So how do we change the mindset so people know that the people are not ill, the people are just needing help? So that's a question for you, Joyce. Let's start with that.
Hi, Bruce. Thank you. That is a good question. You know, like you say, mindset is so important. And it's not, like you said, it's not the children that are in the situation, it's the people around that we have to educate people and help them to understand that children are, and we don't want to call them victims either. Children are displaced because of the situation that they're put in through whatever their parents or, you know, caregivers or whomever, and they're not responsible for where they are. So if we can educate the people around us and around them and, you know, help them to learn to do better. And I know you said mental health is like, when you say that, and I don't use those words with children if we're talking to a kid or even anyone, you know, that's having a mental health issue. You know, I always tell people that you're a person, a diagnosis is what you have, it's not who you are. This is something that happened to you. And whether it happened, you know, of choices that you made or choices that someone else made, it's not who you are. So we try to empower them and empower the people around to help them to understand mental health, because a lot of people don't understand mental health. And, you know, they say, and people throw around things such as bipolar and all those things a lot. But when you say that, we don't even really think about the person that may be suffering with that illness. And so when I think of mental health, I think of if you had a knee injury, you're going to go to the doctor. If you had diabetes, you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to see a doctor, right? Now, if you have a behavioral health or mental health issue, depression, anxiety, or whatever it may be, you're going to go and see someone. It's just a little difference because I can't see your physical knee injury or your broken, your knee injury. I don't have any measures to measure your A1C for diabetes. It makes mental health different because people will say, oh, it's in your head, get over it, do these things, but it's not that easy. It's not in your head. No, it's still an illness that people, suffer with. So now we have to educate people to understand what mental health is and what it is. And so, and when we use it, and I never use it in a bad way because it's just something that happened. It's just another type of illness. And now people have to understand it. There was such a stigma behind mental illness in the past and still is as well. People don't want to talk about it or, oh, if you're, something's going on, you're crazy, you're going to see a shrink, you're going to see this and that. It's like, no, sometimes we just have a little difficulty in life and we need some extra help, someone to help us to see things differently. So I think, and I probably went on and ramble, Bruce, I'm sorry, but just to educate the people around and help them to understand and let the child know that it's nothing that you did. It's not your fault. It's just something that happened in your life and we're here to help. Having that support is very important. And even within school, teaching the school and the teachers and I've talked to some of the teachers that they don't emphasize that. They don't even let people know that the child is homeless. They treat that child just like anyone else. They try to hide it and try to make sure that the other students don't know that. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, Mike, I'm not a parent. I'm a very good uncle, and I love children. And I also want to know that what's important for children is that they're heard. And that's why they feel alone, because it's like they're invisible. And they need to be empowered in that way. And that their words and their feelings matter. So how do we get to the place of really acknowledging them and what they're feeling rather than putting them into kind of a class of mental health or whatever? You find a way to find a solution, because we're solution based. We're uplifting humanity. We don't want to be stuck in the mental health pattern. We want to go beyond that. We want to find a new paradigm even for children and for other people. It's not just children, like you were saying. It's adults who are also born and raised with insecurity, and they pass that on. So how do we break the chains that bind us? So let's do a lot of mindset. This was called brainstorming, like we do in OLS, in what Chris has been doing. It's called brainstorming. So this is a place we get to brainstorm these kind of things. So, like I said, everything to me is based on hope and solutions. So that's what I want to get to the place of finding solutions that bring hope.
Absolutely, Bruce. We are a company that is solution based. So that's absolutely beautiful point. And we are going to be providing those solutions together as a group.
Jean,
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely.
That's okay. One thing is, Bruce, I love that when you say that children need to be heard, but like you say, it's just inclusion. You're including the kids. You don't isolate them. You don't separate them from anyone. You make sure that you give them a space, a safe place, a safe space that they can speak and talk and they can feel heard and that they know that they're supported. So you're so right. And we will be that place to do that.
Yes, it takes time to build a village, that's right. Thanks, Joyce.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was awesome. And next we have Tim Dillon. Let's see. If you could unmute yourself. Are you there, Tim?
Here.
Hi.
Hello, Jane.
Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm in Bloomsburg.
Bloomsburg,
Not
Pennsylvania?
very far away from you.
Wow. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I look forward to meeting you one day.
And you know what? The fact that you're in Harrisburg is
Actually,
very,
outside Philly, outside Philadelphia.
oh, outside Philly. I thought you were in Harrisburg.
Hmm.
Okay. Anyway, regardless, we have a lot of problems in Pennsylvania, as you know. We'll be able to work them now. And Bruce and the other speaker brought up some very good points about our children. And I think that, you know, I'm in that kind of situation myself. I suffered a massive head trauma in my motorcycle accident, and I am still seeing counselors and such to try to get my head right. I'm pretty good right now, and it has gotten better. When I came out of the hospital, I didn't know one from two. Now at least I can live my life. And this came about because a friend of mine, we were both in the same business, trying to make it work. And it lost a lot of money. And then this came along. And as soon as I saw it, it was like, no way, no way. This can't be right. This is too good to be true. The more I learned, the more I knew, and the more I accepted what was in front of me. And I grabbed hold of it, put it in my pocket, and here I am today. We are experiencing a very historical event. Just as many 100 years ago experienced with the introduction of the car, the phone, electricity, the airplane, so many things. And it was called the technology, or not technology, the industrial revolution, steel, railroads. All this came about 100 years ago. Here we are. History is repeating itself. We are in for the ride of our lives. Oh my God. Sorry. God bless you.
That's all right, Tim. Oh, God bless you too. Thank you so much for sharing those words. We're right there with you. We are so excited about what is coming, and it's going to be a wonderful journey we take together. So thank you so much for those words.
It tears me apart.
Well, let it uplift you. Instead of making you sad, let it uplift you. It's a wonderful thing.
I can't put my feet on the ground.
Well, you're about to be flying high with all of us. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing those thoughts. Did you have a question for Joyce, or just wanted to make a comment?
I'm ready to soar.
All right. Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Tim. And next we have, is it Mohammed Ripan Hussein? Can you unmute yourself now?
Yeah, thank you.
You go by
Good morning,
Ripan?
good evening,
Good
afternoon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm Ripan Hussain from Bangladesh. Really appreciable. And today definitely topics is very important because homeless people and homeless children, foodless people, many more population foodless and homeless. It's an example for me. When I say, I want to say, always I want to say, and I have said already, if I don't have money, nobody asks, because I have no money. But I have to say here, first I have to thank Allah. And second, I have to thank and gratitude Mr. Ashmufari giving us the opportunity, because I have not a lot of money. Why we are coming there by ONPASSIVE? Why giving us the opportunity, foundership ONPASSIVE company, Mr. Ashmufari? Because in the world, if anybody alone, I have to say that in my Bangladesh, when I have to go in the road, when I'm watching the lot of poor people sleep in the road, lot of little baby sleeping in the road. They have many more people have to beg. This time he need to money us. He need to help. That time I have my crying.
Ripon, do you want to turn your video off? Your sound is breaking up. If you turn your video off.
But when I listen to the webinar, now are you hearing?
It's much better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Actually, I have to say today, homeless people, homeless children, we want to help. I want to help my personally. All the founders, when we have to people, foodless children.
Ripon, I'm so sorry, but your voice is breaking up. If you can hear me,
ONPASSIVE company. Yes.
Yeah, your voice has been.
I'm hearing to you. Maybe network problem. Maybe. Are you clear?
I think it's a network. Maybe it is a network problem. But if you want, if you want to put your thoughts into the chat so we can see clearly your thoughts, that would be another way to contribute to the discussion. But I think it's breaking up so much, it's really hard to hear what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have our wonderful leader, Julie Wen.
Hello.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Jeannie. Oh, thank you so much for doing this topic. Oh my gosh, you and Joyce are the two beautiful sisters that I happen to get to chat. And you're beautiful inside out. And thank you so much for doing this topic. This topic is really close to my heart because you do know that I do have two daughters. And what you said it here is it's so true, and it's said in a way, you know, because that is where it all started, from the kids, from the children, right? If they are in a state of being homelessness, hungry, that is something that's going to affect them their entire life. My degree is in children, so I do understand how the psychology part of it also working, how heavily affected to these kids. And so I want to just thank both of you for leading this topic, bringing this topic into light. I like to share just a little bit with with what I have, is that I want to tell my children, and I can only saying it for myself based on my experience with my children, is that I want them to know that they have options. They have options. And every single decision that they are making in life right now has to be a mindful, a consciousness decision, not based on just because, or not based on because of the peer pressure, or because of the trend, or because of whatever. Every time, every day, I ask my children, is it something that you want to do? Is that something that, for example, just buying a pair of, just a shirt. Do you want to buy a full shirt that cover your body, or just the top where it cover half of your tummy, right? What message is it that you want to tell the world? And so making decisions for, helping them to make that consciousness decisions, I believe it's very important. And because of us here bringing this topic up, we bring that awareness to parents, and also to anyone that are listening right now. Whatever it is online, the social medias and all that stuff, is bringing our children to wherever. We all know that. And I believe, and I said this in one of the webinars, that our CEO creating this for the future. Yes, for all of us here, but the greatest impact is for the future generations to come. And if you were there on the Monday meeting last week, you will understand, right? So I wanted to say thank you so much, ladies, for bringing this topic here. You're a beautiful inside out in what you're communicating here. And if everyone who are listening to this message, I said, please go out there and focusing on the children, helping them to make conscious decisions instead of just because. One more thing I like to also bring it up is that making the decisions on relationship. I'm talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. How early should I date? Or, those type of decisions that they are making, it's also going to affect their life, the entire life. And I say this to my children, I said, if you have a chance to explore the world and learn other cultures, learn other things before, and then along the way, your prince will come along and match up with you and travel in that road with you. Would you rather that than having pressure and being with someone's right now, and your heart right now is so tender, so much love. And if you take that and you just give it to someone just because of any that emotional reason or hormones reason, it's wasted. So why not focus on loving it and exploring it along the way, and then your prince will come along. So those are the 2 points that I thought, I'm listening to this, I'm like, this is a really great topic, and I like to come here and share with you. Also, Joyce, thank you so much for having that conversation with Celestine. Her project went very well. She brought up a lot of the key points that you brought it up with her. And it was amazing. She did very well on that project. And thank you so much for your time for doing that. And beautiful work, ladies. And Lynn, thank you so much for helping Milo out, for running this webinar and a lot of the webinars that you're on. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving me a few minutes to talk. I appreciate you. Love you all.
Thank you so much, Julie. What a treasure to have you come on today. And what a fascinating topic. It is really those choices that the young people make that's going to affect the rest of their life. And it's so important. And so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Joyce, did you want to respond to Julie?
Yes, thank you so much, Julie. I love you so much. You are just a jewel. Your name fits you so perfectly, Jewel. And, just what you said is so true, making choices, and they affect the rest of our lives. They will affect young people, and being aware, mindful, and conscious of things that they're doing. And that's so good that you're having these conversations with your children. And we all, if we have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever that may be in our lives that we can impact, have these conversations, let them know that, whatever decisions they make, choices, right, wrong, good, bad, they're going to affect their life. There are consequences either way. And I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. And I really enjoyed that I was able to help Celestine and the project, and it was great talking to her. She's such a sweetheart, and I just, wish her the best. I just love you so much. And thank you for everything that you do, for all your support, and for putting up with us on the YouTube videos and everything. You are a jewel. Thank you. Love you. Thank you.
Bye, Julie. I hope you can stick around and listen to some more, because I'm sure there'll be more discussed here. But have a great day.
Thank you.
Next we have Richard Lamotte from Canada, from Ontario. Come on down.
There we go.
Hi.
I love all you beautiful men, women, and children of the world from the bottom of my heart. I've been singing it since the beginning, since the start of all these webinars. Love from the heart that we were given by God, that heart full of love. Unfortunately, society prevents social workers from giving that love to children. It's against the rules. The reason I know that is my daughter's one. And she finally got a job, believe it or not, with Canadian Indians. And she's allowed. That's what's so nice. She's allowed to share the love from her heart towards the children and the women. What is that? Oh my, I had a back noise. Sorry about that. But that's, love is the magic. I don't care what it is. Love from your heart is the magical solution to all problems. Letting children and women know that you care from the heart, that you care about what happens to them. And when you talk to them, you share that. Hey, you might be in that situation, but you're very important people. You have a beautiful future. So when you wake up in the morning, you decide if it's going to be a beautiful day or if it's going to be a bad day. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not here. And I've had experiences like, I saw that guy, and this is one busy four-way. It's crazy. And he was from Romania, running away from Romania because of the wars and all that. So he's standing there with a sign, I got no money. Some will put a sign saying different, but this one, his sign just said, I have no money. I'm on the streets. And here's his wife sitting there with 6 children. So what I did is I went around and I gave him what I had, cash in my pockets. And then I left and I spoke with him and he gave me this big hug. And I felt that love. But on the corner of my eyes, I was watching his wife and children. And you see, what happens is children speak with their eyes. That's how they tell you how they feel. They speak with their eyes. Their eyes tell you. They don't have to speak. So I went about a couple of blocks. I went to Dollar General. I got some water. I got some juices. I saw she had a baby, so I kind of grabbed a little thing of Similac or whatever, you know, and some water and that, and some those crackers and cheese and all kinds of cakes. And anyway, enough, you know, to at least fill up their belly. But what amazed me is when I brought it over there and I asked him permission, is it okay if I give it to your wife and kids? See, that's the approach that I took. He felt that heart. He felt that heart from God. He felt that love. So I went over, give the children and the wife and all that. And I told them, I said, you know, you're loved. You know, welcome to America. If you were in Canada, I would say, welcome to Canada. But you are loved. And God will take care of you. Now, notice I just said God will take care of you. But that's the way it is. It's all about when you approach people, they can feel if you have that love. Some people are so miserable, you know, and this society has gone so sad. It's so sad. I mean, I'm seeing doctors on the streets, lawyers on the streets. This is just unbelievable. I'm seeing people wake up in the morning in the winter in Toronto. Their toes are gone because a rat ate them. Now that's homelessness. It's shameful. It's shameful. Our governments are spending billions of dollars on war, but none on their people. And my dream is oh bless. And I will tell you, I have a lot of founders position. I'm keeping every last one of them, and 80% of them are going to oh bless. It's that simple. The only thing is that's hurting me is, well, which one do I choose? Who can I help? I guarantee you, if there's one there for the women and children, you know, single mothers and children, they're going to be priority. The homelessness, the mental health, feeding people, those are my priorities. I want to see those children and women and men dancing in those streets because they don't have to worry about where the next meal will come from. I won't give them a fish, but I sure will teach them how to fish. But my teaching will be what God gave me, a heart full of love. The love that I will share with them, making them feel they are blessed. Even though they're homeless, they are blessed because God loves them. We love them. And I've got to stop because I'm going to start crying. So I give you a big kiss and big hug to all of you.
Thank you so much, Richard. That was a perfect story, a perfect share on the topic at hand. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. And you're absolutely right. Love is the way that this is all going to, through every avenue of ONPASSIVE, it's really the love and our intention and our purpose and our decisions, like Julie said, that it's going to make this all get better and better and better every day. So thank you so much, Richard. Wonderful share. And next we have Nafiso Aptidon. Is that correct?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Good evening, good morning, good night, what time ever it is for you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it and grateful to be here with you. I just joined in lately, but I understand the theme of the topic. So I hope I'm not going wrong place. Thank you so much. We're talking about the kids. How can we, you know, teach our children love and the homelessness and to teach them how they care the others. I hope I'm not wrong in the topic. I'm a mom myself with the 4 children, a single mother with 4 children. just help myself. I've been all these situations, struggle myself in here in the UK, and I know how it feels. But now I'm come up with that. A little bit grown up. It's not yet the position I'm looking for. So that ONPASSIVE come on the way. So I am so blessed to be part of OPLES is going to be the best opportunity we all to look for to help the others, the homelessness, children, homeless children, and everyone who in need. My two main goals will be the single mothers who are struggling with the loan, their children alone, like 5, 6 children here in the UK. Or I've been witnessed the sisters who had kids, but unfortunately they have involved with the social services and stuff, and their children being taken away, and even some being put them in prison because of they didn't take care of the children, which is not right. Every single mom deserve, or every mom deserve the best mom in the world, but unfortunately no support, no giving hand, because they're alone. When they're stressed, then they don't know how to manage themselves with the children. That when the case comes and they don't have a hand, they don't have a man their side, that means they end up. I know I've got one story. The sister had only one child in herself, looked after since the age of not maturely, but nearly maturely. And finally, the child report something. I don't know how that happened. And the child being taken away, and they put her 14 years in prison, but they're planning. So we are going to fight back on these people who don't deserve all these hardships. So my goal is just to support the single mothers who are struggling with children, and the children homelessness in back home Somalia. I am going to next 2-3 weeks. I need your support, guys. I will bring you something on the table that we need to be covered as well. And there is a children. That's a one story I can share with you. The homeless children in back home. I know one child being homeless for a long time. Then he make a song on that homelessness, and the people doesn't care about him, even the government, and he make like a Bowen, and that Bowen go viral, and he got helped, and then he is the one now doing the fundraise for homeless children. We've got those beautiful stories that we need to bring on the table. We've got the mom who put herself to become a mom, more than 100 children. Did she bring it together? I love to connect, and I love to bring those on the table. We've got the big fishing to bring those in need, those stories to bring it to ONPASSIVE and show the world and how amazing people doing while they don't have anything on their hands. I want to connect you on that amazing female that I had been seeing her story go viral as well. 100 children, none of yours. You looking after them, you cook for them, you clean for them because they were homeless, the children on the street. Bring it all together. Cut them their hair, give them a shower, bring them to the table, give them food, make the charity fundraise. All these, she flew back from, I don't know what country, but she stayed back home to be a mom, all these kids. It is so amazing, his stories, what we've got in here. I'm back home in Somalia. I want to go myself. I want to gather all these together and bring it to ONPASSIVE OPLES. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow, Nafisa, wow, that was incredible. Those stories are so inspiring. Joyce, I'm sure you're feeling the same way. Do you want to respond to Nafisa?
Nafisa, wow, that was awesome. Yes, my heart is like overjoyed. It's like, thank you so much. Like, amazing, just great work, and just keep it up. And ONPASSIVE is just, like you say, it's just a vehicle. It's going to be, Blessed is just going to be so instrumental and so just so great for so many. And like you said, what you're doing now, and it's just going to enhance that and help you to continue to move forward. But thank you so much for your beautiful words and your stories. Love you. Yeah.
Thank you. Love you too, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Akram. Whoop, there we go. There you are. If you could unmute your mic. Oh, hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much, Jean. Nice to see you in this position. And really, I'm thankful to Julian Milo Show this. Today's topics is really deep sorrow. If I remember it, in our country, it's really pathetic. In our in the main city, there have no shelter. Our homeless children, they living in the food, and also they have no also shelter. So, but our government is trying to protect them, but it's not sufficient. It's really very hard situation for our government to control it. And at the same time, if you search in Google Map, you will see Kamalapur rail station. You will see there have the homeless children in every corner of the part of the world. So I want to mention in one side, you see that by the time homeless children reach school age, their homeless affect their social. By the way, I cannot open my camera because here is internet very bad situation today. So what I'm saying that actually their homeless affect their social, physical, and academic lives. Homeless children are not simply at risk. Most suffer a specific physical, psychological, and emotional damage due to the circumstances that accompany of homeless. At the same time, I would like to say that the impact of homeless begin well before a child is born. The overwhelming majority of homeless parents are single women. Many of were homeless themselves as children. Homeless women face many obstacles to health, pregnancies such as chemical abuse, chronic and acute health problem, and lack of problems. So it's really pathetic actually. I know every country have like the same situations, but our country is major really problem. So in the oblast, when we will get, we will try from myself and our also community. We have a plan what to do and what we can do. We'll try our best level. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jean.
Thank you, Akram. That was really wonderful. And I was just starting to post in the chat that how incredible it is to be able to, we have people joining today from all over the world. And by having people give their perspective of how homelessness is affecting their countries, their communities, it really helps us to see the patterns of what is it across all countries that is similar. So we can really, focus in on those things and get to the root of the problem quicker and get it solved. So thank you so much for coming on today and giving us a specific examples. Really helpful. And next we have, does MD stand for Mohammed? I'm not sure, but Masoom, if you could come down and unmute your mic.
Thank you very much for giving me the chance. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I am MD Masoom. MD means Muhammad Masoom. Yeah, I am MD Masoom from Bangladesh. Yes. So I want to say that today's topics is very much heart-touching topics, homeless. and its effects on the children. As most of the in our South Asian countries, most people are suffering this problem. Already our Honorable Akram sir said this problem properly. So I believe that after launch on ONPASSIVE company, most founders of Bangladesh and we are determined to help the people by our economical, financial profit fund. One by one area, we will select where the people are suffering this problem and shelter them. This is my topics. Today is the first time I am speaking with an international webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MD Masoom. And yeah, thank you so much for coming today and sharing your thoughts. Really, really helpful. Okay, well, I think, whoops, do we have another hand? Ajit Dash, I've just sent you a request to join the panel. If you wanted to speak right now, we could bring you right on. And I just want to mention also, if there's anybody in the attendee list that wants to join the panel and make a comment, ask Joyce a question on today's topic, or make a general comment, it'd be great to have you join us at this time.
He's refusing so far to come on the panel. I've been trying.
Oh, all right. So Lynn, well, Joyce, did you want to add anything after everybody has spoken so far? Is there anything that's jarred your memory? Maybe something you want to add?
I'm just really enjoying everyone's stories, and just how, like you said, there's a pattern of how everyone is, all around the world, the country, we're experiencing the same thing. It looks different in every country, but it's the same. So, and with the hearts of humanity from so many people all over the world, and with ONPASSIVE and Blessed, we're going to be able to change lives in so many ways that we can't even imagine. And I know I was going to say, I'll wait to say this at the end, but go ahead and let Lynn talk, and we'll go, and I'll say it at the end before. Okay. But I'm just excited about what's taking place and how this topic is just so important. It's so important.
It really is. How can we really truly enjoy the abundance and prosperity that's coming with ONPASSIVE if we know that our fellow man is struggling so badly? So it's really something that we really do need to focus on as quickly as possible. We're lifting humanity, and that includes people that are experiencing homelessness, houselessness, poverty, etc. So, okay, Lynn or John, do either of you want to add some thoughts?
Well, I was thinking we could ask a question such as this that people can relate to. Homelessness is such a humongous problem that we may feel overwhelmed and we don't know where to start. But on an individual level, what do you think that you could do to make a difference in tackling this issue in a very, very small way? What can you as an individual do? So we may have people wanting to share about that. I see we have Richard.
Yeah. Hi, Richard. Can you unmute? Awesome.
There we go. See, I've had this dream ever since the beginning of having a motorhome with ONPASSIVE on it, big sign ONPASSIVE, travel all over Canada and the United States and help the hopeless, the homeless people and the poor people. I've had this dream to the point that I even asked the guy who takes care of my taxes, well, how do I get that to be tax deductible? Because I told him, I says, look, all I need is a couple of $1,000 to live. I want to give the rest away. He says, are you nuts? Nope. He says, and I told him, I says, your daughter, like I told him how his daughter had a heart from God. Because in 2018, 17 and 18, I was begging for food. I'm not fooling you, I was begging for food because of the government. And I happened to, once it was over and I started getting an income again that I could live, I happened to go in there, and his daughter, who's about 17 years old, told me, don't you ever, ever do that again. She says, if you know somebody who needs food, send them over here, we'll give them food. But see, I tried to explain to her, here's what happens. When a person is homeless, he's got pride. He doesn't like to beg. You see, that's one thing we have to change, that mindsetting. So what we have to do is start teaching the homeless and poor people, like I said, that they're very important and that they matter, so that we can change their mindset from, well, poor little me, I'm having a hard time, to, hey, there's something out there for me. There's people out there for me that want to give me back my pride. You see, that's where the love comes in. You have to kind of have this aura of love that makes them know that they're blessed. They weren't put on this earth to, to be poor. It's society that made them poor, unfortunately. Now, there might be 10% that it's not society, but look around you. Look around you. Poverty is being boosted by, I'd say, 60% in the last 2 years. People are losing their homes just because of the economy. This should not be happening. People have to get together and give that love, share that love, give pride back to people, show them that they're very, very important in this world. And that's another thing, Academy. Now imagine Academy is going to teach a lot of people how to get out of their homelessness, get out of their poverty. But I'm getting carried away again. I gotta let this go. I love all of you.
Oh, we love you too, Richard. Thank you so much for adding those thoughts. Wonderful job. Next, we have Abdi. Abdi, thank you so much for coming. Please unmute and share your thoughts.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jean Oliver. Thank you very much. And good evening. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I just come in the middle of the topic for the homelessness, and and I just have a chance to listen some of the participants and hear a little bit about the choice for commenting back. Well, thank you very much, first of all, for Lynn and Jean and John Perilla and for holding this topic. It's a really great topic, and it's a broad topic. And homelessness itself really is not only for kids, it's also for, it can happen in many places here where I live here now in Melbourne. I see people homeless sleeping in the middle of the CBD. So it's not something that only for kids, it's a broad, and it comes in a different way, without different circumstances, how this happened to these individuals who live so-called might be a prosperous countries where facilities and work and education is available, but it comes somehow, and it's not only for kids. That's one thing. On the other hand, by listening my sister Nafiso, I'm also from Somalia. It's totally different scenarios of homelessness and orphanages all in one, mainly for the young kids, because In Somalia's history, with the civil war of 30 years, with lack of like different phases of war. One was a civil war for military dictatorship. The other one was religious problems, and then followed by some other stories. It continuously happened a generations of like over 20, 35, 30 years almost. So when I went back to Somalia from here to last year, what I saw was really, really heartbreaking because we have a lot of people died in the war, and then we have young kids with single mothers, as Nafisa said, where not only they are able to educate them, not only they are trying to look them and guide them and make them a better man and woman grown up, but they just struggling basically put the food on the table. And when I hear first about our CEO Ash Mufarah talking about impacting humanity and hopeless with changing many lives. And I remember one of his webinars when he was saying, you know, the power of giving. The power of giving is 10 times more fulfilling. Indeed, it is, because we all know when you receive something and when you give something, it's totally different. And every day when I'm consciously thinking, I'm thinking if I would be able to do that, if I would be able to build that house or that accommodation or some sort of a college, if I'm able to, you know, just impact in one person's life, at least. So these young kids, and they are some of the kids, not only they lost their father, but some of them even lost their mother, and then they just street kids. And it's so sad. Some of them turn it to a drug, but not even a real drug where you buy a money. It's like they sniff a petrol. And when they sniff the petrol, they get high. And then when they get high, that's just to pass the time. Maybe they are hungry and that will energize them. So that's the hope they have. So it's really, really a broad, very destructive situation where you need to really have a big salvation. And that's a big job for the Somali founders that who I, myself, and Nafiso push ourselves to the limit to make sure to pinpoint the opportunity of ONPASSIVE and how these mothers and these young kids will have a chance to change their life. And our CEO says, we pave the way. We pave the way. And I believe that ONPASSIVE will pave the way for many people and many homelessness and orphanages. And we are the ones who have carry on the vision of our CEO, and that's all he asks. It doesn't matter whether you build a house, whether you build a road or a child health center for women. We have a situation in Somalia where some of the women, pregnant women, with a problem with, because there's problem with the roadside too. So some of them are living not in the city but countryside. What they have is like when they get a labor, you know, it takes them about 3-4 hours, or sometimes the highest one 6 hours to get to the closest MCH to deliver this baby. And some of them lose their baby and lose their life in the middle of traveling because the road is blocked and it's not a good condition. There's no hospitals. So I myself have a vision where I created so many founder positions basically for helping others, especially women and children, whether I drill a well, whether I build a MCH, whether I create a college for these orphanage kids just to have a decent life and have a basic education. So we're in a good position thanks to our CEO that who paved the way for us. And we are looking forward to change and have impact of many lives around the globe together. And I appreciate for you bringing this topic, Jean, and thanks to Choice, and thank you for all of you holding. And I'm really glad and I'm excited. And yes, yeah,
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for having.
Thank you so much, Abdi. And Joyce, did you want to respond to Abdi from a perspective of a Michigan Angel and some of the projects that he was mentioning?
Yes, Jean, thank you, Audie, so much. Great words. I love that because, you know, from a Michigan perspective and just meeting with Ash, we're brainstorming and we're hoping that when we come up with a solution, that we will implement it here in Michigan and it will ripple out around the world. And like we say, everything is going to be different in every community, but we have so many things and so many projects that are being birthed forth. And, you know, that I know that God has his hand all in this. And you know, with the things that you have in mind and everyone else has in mind, when we put those all together, it's just going to come together. It's just going to be so beautiful that when it reaches the world, people are going to just wonder, like, how did they do that? How did this happen? And it's because of one man's vision to change humanity. So yes, everything that you said, it's going to be awesome. It's just going to be a huge ripple effect. And we are going to affect the world. We're going to affect the globe. We're going to change the world in such a positive way, in such a great way that people are going to wonder how it happened. But one thing we know is that Ash is following the lead of God, and with him in control, I mean, we're unstoppable. As he says, unless God himself says something different, then there's no way that we can be stopped. So thank you so much. Yes.
Absolutely. Nothing can stop what's coming here. Okay, next up we have, is it Fausia Awad? Forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly, but is it Fausia or Fausha?
Yes, Fauzia Awad
Fausia.
Fauzia Awad from Toronto, Canada. I'm saying hi to all these amazing people. I appreciate the whole family of ONPASSIVE. I'm so happy. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm from Somalia originally, but I never see Somalia. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, and I came into Toronto the last 20 years. But I have family. I have friends struggling in Somalia, and the most struggle thing, the biggest thing is the water. There's no water. People dying with no water, not food, the water, and women with no health. And I have family, I have friends, and I want to thank my Mrs. Ash Mufara. I don't know what to say. It's just amazing human being. I don't know what to say. Whatever word I say, I can describe him. I ask Allah to grant him the highest place in heaven, inshallah, God will. I thank you, everybody. I liked all the product. I'm person who went to different company and make a lot of lead, and every company is like disappear. So when I enjoy ONPASSIVE, it was in the end of May, I think the beginning of June. So I don't tell nobody. I just register myself. I register my husband, and I say it's gonna be the same thing. Those company, let me see. Until I see that the family of ONPASSIVE, how they impress, how they talk, and how they love each other. They say, no, this is different. This is a different thing. Then I keep enjoying the Zooms and listening. And my first language is Arabic. So most of the time I enjoy the Arabic team. I listen to them. Then the end of last month, I think it was the June 21, I called all my friends. I put all my kids, all my people close to me. I even pay for my close family. I say, you will understand later. Just let me register you, give your email. They ask me, what is this? Don't worry. You will be so happy. So I'm so happy with this company. I believe it. Otherwise, it's gonna come August or next year. I'm in it to win it. I think I win. I think I win. That's what I feel. And O+ is another level. It's something else. I like O+. I like the O Academy. I go through some of them. I like the O stuff. It's amazing. Everything I'm learning something new, and I'm in it to win it.
All right.
I thank everybody. I thank everybody in this family. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Fausia. So great to have you here. Okay, next we have Annie Hayward. And we're going to end with William Delorme. He is going to be our final panelist speaker today before we wrap up. So thank you all for raising your hands. Go ahead, Annie.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Hi.
Yes, we hear you.
My name is Annie Hayward. Okay, I'm Annie Hayward. Joyce Parker Hicks is my sister. Yay! This is my first time coming on. So first time being able to introduce myself to everybody. I'm kind of a chicken, so I'm quiet. I don't do a lot of talking, but this topic is awesome. I'm so glad to finally open my mouth and say something so everybody know who I am. I stay on webinars, meetings. I'm always there and love you guys. I'm watching you all the time. I comment when I can, but I just love ONPASSIVE and just thank you guys. That's all I wanted to do is just come on and say hi. And Joyce, you're doing an awesome job.
Joyce, do you want to respond?
Okay, she's gonna have me in tears now. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but thank you, Annie. I love you so much. This is my baby sister, and she is a jewel. She has a heart for people and a heart for humanity. She is so engaged. She's so quiet, but she's on every webinar. She's always in the background. She's in our chats and our groups, and she is so engaged. And I'm so proud of you for coming on and speaking. I've been trying to get her for a while, and I just said, just do it today. Do it today. And I'm so glad you did. And you have a voice. And from now on, just keep getting on and talking and being present, and just so proud of you. So proud of you. Love you so much. And thank you.
Annie, I agree. I see it. You and I both first timers, and I can hear the resonance, the timbre in your voice, and I can tell you are sisters. You probably sing together really beautifully. I could just tell. So thank you so much for having the courage to come on and share your thoughts with us. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, next we have Violet Ryan. Come on down, in Milo's words.
Good afternoon. It's afternoon here. I'm a bit of a shit disturber. So I'm gonna, how should I say this? I'm just gonna say it. I have told many people that give me this line that there's homeless people. All you need to do is on your way to work, make an extra sandwich or an extra something that you're making for yourself to give to a homeless person. There's that. The other is a lot of you have really big houses, and I would suggest, and I've been told I'm nuts, I would suggest taking a homeless person home once in a while. Give them a solid meal, somewhere to shower. Sorry, cooking. Somewhere to shower, and maybe take them back to where they were, where you picked them up, or give them a bed for the night. Different person every night, and just let them know that they're special. I've done that here. My son has major issues with anxiety and depression. So he told me there's absolutely no way you can have him in the apartment. But I have, there's a stairwell at the bottom of our stairs near the garage that I have set up a bed, cardboard on the ground. I've come down with covers and blankets, and I come down with some food, and usually by morning they're gone. I just have to clean up. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. Everybody can do something now. You don't have to wait for old Les to become available. There's a gentleman who runs a a homeless thing where he feeds the homeless and whatever. They can come in and get whatever they need. He has showers and things there for them. He's developed a system that in about, I think he told me, a year and 4 months, these people are on their own. He works with them one-on-one. He has to change the way they think, of course. It's amazing what he does. And basically that's where my bless money is going to go. But there's also another gentleman that feeds the hungry from his motorhome. And he has been fined so many times. You're not allowed to feed anybody. You're not allowed to give out food here in Oshawa, of all the stupidest things I've heard. And you get a fine. And the last one he got was over $1,000. So that I'll be trying to keep him on property. If he's on private property, okay, but there isn't anyone that'll let them use their driveway or whatever. That really pisses me off because I don't have anything to offer him. Anyway, all the best. Just my 2 cents worth. I'm a regular shit disturber. So enjoy your day. We'll talk to you another time. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Violet, for coming on and sharing those thoughts. Yeah, it's a very complex situation. There are a lot of solutions. We're going to have to come at this from a lot of different directions to really solve this without, putting people in harm's way and all of that. Joyce, did you want to share some thoughts from a professional perspective on what Violet was sharing?
Yes, Biden. Thank you for your comments. Those were really good. And you have a heart for people. So, that's wonderful. And then you're looking at ways to help. I would just like to say professionally, and just like Jean said, just be careful with what you do, putting yourself in harm's way, because some people are very complex and not understanding their situation and their mental status. And we could put ourselves in harm's way. So we want to be as safe as possible. And just to make sure that we don't put ourselves out there, that we can be harmed. And also that we want to make sure that we are, sometimes we have to, as professionals, we have to set boundaries as well too. So some of those things, we can do so many things to help people, like you say, going out and, helping someone out, feeding people and doing things like that, bringing them into your home. You just want to be careful because you don't know that person, and you just want to be safe. We want everyone to be safe when we're doing this. We want to make sure that we're safe. We just want to make sure that, we're doing, I know our hearts are great. Our hearts are big because we want to do so much, and there's so much out there, so many ways that we can help. And so that's why we're here. We're brainstorming, thinking of ways to help and thinking of things to do, but just always be mindful of who, we're dealing with people that we don't know that may have, not saying that everyone does, but someone may have a mental illness or a behavioral illness that is there and we don't know about. And so we don't know what we're going to run into. So always be mindful, be aware, be careful, and just make sure that, you're finding ways to help, but there are ways that are going to be safe.
Absolutely, Joyce. Thank you so much for adding that. And we have to always follow our intuition, follow our that internal guidance to do the right things, and always follow our hearts and all of that, but just to be wise at the same time. Okay, we have William Delarme. If you want to unmute and share your thoughts with us.
Yes,
and you're
hello.
the last one.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I don't have the video on. I have kind of eye infection, so I'm not going to turn my video on.
That's perfectly fine. It's great to have you here.
Yes, I want to bring up a few things here. I was a taxi driver for 7 years. I had my own car, got hit behind, and I went on to another job. I got a job at the Hartman's cashier, working behind the cashier. Then I got on to recycling and I retired. And now I'm going through an issue with the COVID. I lost my balance. I'm gaining it back. I'm waiting for the apples so I can get more exercise. Those kind of things. I'm not going to give up, even though it's a big challenge for me. But I would like to go back home, whereas Hamilton was brought me. Well, I lost my parents. I can tell you that. So I have a lot of experience about the homeless. But as a taxi driver, I've seen the real bad stuff. What do you call it? The sex trade and all of those issues. Now, when you see all those things, your heart, excuse me, goes out to humanity.
It's all right, William. It's a very emotional topic. I understand too. You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just want to mention, if you go to the Chosen, I saw you can buy a video on the girl named Megan. She was, a lot of these homeless people go into these things not knowing what they're getting into because they need money, place to go, and things of that nature, and they're hungry, and they get into the drug trade too. So I know all these things. So that's why I like Oh Bless. It's starting from the bottom, but eventually the more people get together, and this is a big issue in the United States, Canada, all over. So it's even been in history from way, way, way back. Prostitutions have been here for a long, long, long time. And these so-called pimps, or whatever they are, they're very evil people. And to eradicate that from this earth would be a blessing. So that's why I like Oh Bless. And I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings.
Not at all. It's really important points, William. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And now we are going to start wrapping up the meeting today. Lynn, what's the best way to do this? I know we'd love to get some last words from Joyce, John, you, Lynn. In your experience, what's the best way to wrap this up?
That's exactly what you said. We'll do exactly that. You got it, girl.
I was well trained. I was well trained. Between Milo left me wonderful notes. I didn't have to think. I have my notes. I had my, it was so helpful. And just the ease of having you here, and John, it was so helpful. Anybody thinking about, doing Zooms in the future, just know it is, when you have the right guidance and you have the right support, it is such an amazing experience. It really, really is. Thank you, Lynn.
And before you go on, I want to take a poll from the group here. How many of you think that Jean Aleva did a great job? Remember, this is her first ever time hosting. Can you believe it? It seems like she's a seasoned host to me. She's just a natural, very articulate. loving, kind, patient. She has all the traits you need of a host. So let's give her a hand. Thumbs up or claps. She did a great job.
Thank you
Kudos
so
to
much.
you.
But I have to say, it was watching John's first time last week. I watched and I was like, it just gave me that comfort level. Like, we can do this. And John, I could totally relate to when you were saying performing on a stage, because I have a theater background as well. Performing on a stage as a character and being on stage as yourself, totally different things. It is a different bird. So I just, you saying that, it just eased my mind. So thank you. You did a phenomenal job last week. It was an awesome meeting. So I think, let me see, Joyce, do you have some, or John, do you have some final words, or either of you? I'm rambling now.
Oh, thank you, John. Yes, Jean, you did an awesome job. I love you. Thank you so much. You, like Glenn said, you are natural. It's like you've been doing this forever. So, and I know you'll be back, Milo. We'll have you back again. Or you might take, his little spot, like, no. Oh, but I love it. Thank you so much, Jean. Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you all. Thank you, everyone, for attending and for just supporting us. And thank you, Milo, for inviting us to be on the show. I just want to say that, talking about children, homelessness, poverty, and all the issues that we're dealing with all over the world, it's a very difficult topic. It's a very heavy topic. And sometimes it gets very emotional. I would just like to say to everyone, from a professional stance, please do self-care after this. Right now, just take a deep breath and let it out. Take a deep breath in, let it out. And as you do that, think about, we're in such a good place that with all the corruption, with all the things that are going on, ONPASSIVE is here to lift us up, to help. So be encouraged and think about the good things that are coming ahead and the great things that we're going to do, that we're going to be able to help so many of these children. It's a very difficult topic, but we're going to be able to help so many children and put them in places. It's not going to be a one-time fix, but it's going to be permanent. So we're not going to give people fish. We're going to teach them how to fish. And we're going to give these children and women and men, boys and girls, we're going to give them a permanent place in society where they can be productive, they can be self-sufficient, they can be themselves, and they can grow, they can learn, they can become the best person that God has put them on this earth to do. So I want you to leave this feeling good about it, that we're here to brainstorm, but we're also here to lift up. This is a wonderful platform. It's an awesome topic. Take it with you, breathe in, breathe out, know that good is coming. It is coming, and be lifted up, be encouraged that you were able to speak and tell your stories. It was just so amazing to hear everyone's stories and the things that we're going to do and the things that are happening in the world. But just think about how we're going to be able to change that. So I'm just so thankful for everyone sharing and being on here. It was a very important topic, and we never want to stop talking about it because it's hard to talk about, but the more we talk about, the more solutions we come up with, the more we're able to help. Each one reach one, each one teach one, and what a great ripple effect we'll have. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Lan. Thank you, Chris, and for the angels, and love you guys. And I'm going to stop right now.
Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, real quick, very quickly. I'm going to just say very quickly, you did a great job, and let's get off because I think I ended 2 minutes early. And you're going to have
John, there's a lot of feedback. We can barely understand you.
Bye. I'll just say goodbye.
A perfect way to end. Should I end it, Lynn, or do you want to have the honors?
No, you're the host. You get to end it.
Everybody, because we want to end on time, we're just going to say goodbye. Thank you all for coming. It wouldn't be a webinar without you. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Love you
awesome
guys.
webinar, awesome attendees. Couldn't ask for more. Great
Yes.
presentation.
Thank you.
Great hosting, everything. Great
Oh.
chat monitor. Everything went really well. Thank you all for
Yes.
being here.
Thank you all.
Thank you. I'm going to hit that button.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do it, Jean. Do it.
Oh, I think I have to do it. I forgot.
Oh,
I'm the
I think
host.
okay.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Join us next.
Lynn.
Join us
Bye-bye.
next week. Same time, same webinar link. See you soon.
Yes. Thank you.
Lots of love to everyone. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.